want, you ain't. Not the kind of person to say a toada so, but you know what? A toada so. A f***ing a toada so.
Being worked on, and the MMO is completely on hold until next year at the
Interest
earliest.
ya on a pint?
Notice that there's no mention here of refunding anyone their money. Because remember, you didn't pre-order anything, folks. You pledged a donation. You gave someone money just because you wanted to, and they have no obligations to deliver anything to read the terms and conditions of the crowdfunding agreement that you sign when you give them money to access Visionary Realms projects.
Okay, so I think I owe some people an apology for covering this dumpster fire years ago, and I was like, you know, everybody support this game, it's gonna be cool. I mean, let's be honest, this was like 2014. Wait, no, that's, I don't even know when I first covered this game. It's been a long time, man, and I've just seen a million red flags. And I pointed it out, I think like a year or two ago, and I caught a lot of crap for it. Oh, just a whole bunch of it. And then I made a video a few months ago saying, hey, do you guys still care about this game? And I caught a lot of crap for that too. So I just watched a video, class refresh for the Dire Lord. But I didn't really watch it, because most of it is just two people talking, which it kind of reminded me of what they were doing with EverQuest Next with the roundtable discussions, and I just started to go crazy. And I don't want to effing hear you guys. I'll play a little piece of that.
There's not a lot of people playing Landmark right now. It's kind of one of those things. It doesn't really have a good review on Steam. People are like, yeah, this is abandonware. They're not doing anything. If you read the reviews, they're not very positive. People are just kind of like, yeah, they're not doing anything with it. And people have compared this to Star Citizen, and how it's just like in a perpetual state of hiatus. Like, when is this gonna come out? What the actual I've been noted for defending the game and trying to stay positive, and I've been middle of the road, let's be honest. I haven't said, you know, oh, you guys should not be so negative and it's gonna be amazing. I haven't done that. I've said, let's be optimistic, cautiously optimistic, and see what happens. This could work out, maybe it won't. I've been very middle of the road. But at this point, I'm starting to go towards the guys that are holding pitchforks and torches in the comments section. They're saying, what is going on? We don't care about the workshop. Zero given. Okay? I don't care about the workshop. Nobody does. I see a workshop video and it's like an hour long. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to sit there and watch your hour-long video about, oh, look how we created these tools, and oh, look at what this guy built. I don't care. I assure you, Daybreak, and I know this is blunt and to the point and not very nice, but I don't give a about your tools or anything Landmark related. I haven't played Landmark in months. Don't care. I don't. I think the game looks beautiful. I think it'll be fun once it's actually, you know, once they develop the MMO part of it. Kinda got sick of building games, sorry. You know, I do think it's a good building game if you happen to be into it. But, anyways, I digress. The point is people are getting pissed. And I don't blame them, because it's kind of like that Karate Kid saying. And it's kind of like a weird analogy that I'm making here, but in the movie, Mr. Miyagi says something to the effect of karate yes or karate no. Karate so squished like grape. You can't, it's like either do it or don't, because if you kind of do it, doesn't work out. So you either need to show us what's going on with EverQuest Next immediately, because this game has been unveiled and talked about for like 3 years. I think it's like 3+ years now. I don't even know. It's been a while. And going even further back when they were saying they were working on another EverQuest, which was unnamed, going way back. So this has been something that's been going on for a while. So produce results or shut the f up, because nobody wants to see workshop shit. All you're doing is pissing people off.
But I was a lot more hostile back then. a lot younger, more hostile, and not very patient. I guess, I don't know, I kind of struggle with patience, but it seems like it's been forever since I first covered this game. It was January 2014, actually, when I first talked about it. And to be fair, it was just really a proof of concept. They were trying to float the concept out there to an investor or to get it on Kickstarter, that sort of thing. But man, all the excitement I had for this is just kind of gone. Because it seems like every time people see something going wrong, you've got people who are just inhaling copious amounts of copium. And I kind of get it, right? But I've been down this road a few times, and it started with SOCOM. I don't know if you guys remember SOCOM back on the PS2. It was the first online game I ever played. I loved SOCOM, man. I played a lot with my cousin, who I've mentioned many times passed away from cancer in 2006 in his 20s. And it was just such a good memory for me. So I was emotionally attached to SOCOM. And then along comes H-Hour on Kickstarter. So just to show you the parallels, when David Sears, the creative visionary behind SOCOM, was taken off of H-Hour, at that point, I mean, that's the guy who sold it to most of us, right? I said to myself, oh no, this isn't good. Now, obviously, Brad McQuaid passed away. It's not the same as David Sears stepping down or, being fired or whatever. But, I mean, you can kind of see those parallels, right? The main driving force is gone. So I just want to show you guys how that happened with H-Hour real quick.
But then something happened that just shook the very foundation of H-Hour. David Sears stepped down. And once again, I said, well, making excuses and denial. Well, maybe, the money just wasn't there, and, he's got to feed his family, right? I mean, what the I was arguing with people about this. Like, no, he's an asshole, and he just abandoned us. And I could understand how people felt that way. I still don't really feel that way. I feel like he did what he was hired to do. He made the proof of concept. It would be nice if he would have stuck around, but I don't know the details. The whole David Sears debacle is still up in the air. People are speculating. Nobody knows. It's just really strange because we get a letter. He left like a post, I think, on SOF forums saying, hey, I'm stepping down, but, I'll still be around. They can still contact me, and I'll be in like a supporting role and stuff like that. So I was thinking, well, he laid all the groundwork. He probably trained Kevin Daraspino really well. So Russ Phillips is awesome at making maps. He made all the classic SOCOM maps. Things should be okay.
And yeah, that did about as good as EverQuest Next. And speaking of EverQuest Next, I was telling people when that was looking like it was a dumpster fire, oh no! And like the entire MMORPG subreddit hated me, and I ended up getting banned, and there was all this drama on the official EverQuest Next subreddit, and I ended up getting banned from there. And yeah, it was right. Now, I'm not gloating here. I just seem to have a knack for telling when things are going bad. Why? Well, because, like I said, it started with H-Hour a long time ago. And you can always tell the signs that, this isn't going to work out with crowdfunding. And it usually starts pretty early. And the biggest red flag is when they change the design, or they revamp everything and start over from scratch, because that's what happened with H-Hour.
There hasn't been a lot going on. However, the latest update by David Sears is a very exciting one because we're able to see what the new engine looks like. Now, when the proof of concept was being done, it was done in Unreal Engine 3, which is last-gen technology. They wanted to update it to Unreal Engine 4, so they've given us a few samples of what that looks like. And as you can see, it's a very, very big improvement. It takes everything out of last gen and brings it into next gen pretty much. The lighting and everything just looks way, way better. Now, obviously, these are just samples, so things are probably going to change more. I know David said he wanted to make it look a little bit more run down and add grime over things and stuff like that. And there have been some people who have expressed a bit of concern because it went from looking like a dilapidated church to looking really nice and new.
Me personally, I'm not really picky. I think it looks great either way. It's definitely a giant leap forward. Now, they said it's going to take somewhere between 2 to 3 months before the entire map is done, just the Sismus map. But hopefully they'll give us like another a fly through so we can see a comparative of what it looks like in action. David has also said that he likes this engine better, and that when he puts things in, he doesn't have to go back and forth and readjust it. Everything pretty much works out the way he thinks it's going to work out. So that's good news. It means that it's just easier for them to implement this engine, and development can roll along quicker. Once they do get funded, they'll be able to get things done at a much faster pace than they were with the Unreal 3 engine.
They wanted to bring it up to the new Unreal Engine 4 or something at the time. I can't remember. They wanted to get it off Unity on the Unreal or something like that. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've talked about this stuff, folks. I mostly deal in like real world things going on in Christianity, which people do not want to hear about. Okay? But I got to talk about this. In EverQuest Next, same thing. They went through all these different changes, and then they were like, we're going to bring out Landmark, and I think everybody was all about Landmark, and then after a while it started to look like, hey, how is this ever going to turn into this grand vision that they have for this game? It just I don't see how. You see overpromising usually. You see them reaching for the sky, right? They're just shooting for the stars, and slowly that just gets relegated down more and more and more. And now you look at this and it's like, oh, that's not good. Things are not good for Pantheon, y'all. They're not. And I think for me, when I completely lost all hope, they did the graphical change. Because I know people will say, well, it's just graphics. Well, your graphics are setting a tone. And what everybody wanted from Pantheon was basically EverQuest 1 just new today. You add some new caveats like, you can climb, etc. like that. But no, this is not the vision that Brad McQuaid had for the game. And yeah, it's not a good thing. It's gone into a bad direction. And I don't really know what else to say about it other than, for me personally, MMORPGs are kind of dead. Like, I still want to play EQOA, and I know that might confuse some people because I did the whole occult and all this stuff in EverQuest, pointing to how they had that book about rats and how to get people addicted.
My binder from Introduction to Game Design.
Oh man, I remember
by Matt
that.
Yaney. Yeah, and on the back, EQOA comic book. Quest for Dark Power. I won't focus. There it goes.
That's so badass.
But yeah, this has like all kinds of just like stuff that like just blew my mind. Like showing me the link between psychology and game design that I'd never really considered, and like the whole concept of loot, the way loot worked, and like drawing the line between looting mobs, and there was this experiment with BF Skinner and rats like pushing a bar to like get a pellet of feed, and like the randomness of that was like the way to get rats addicted to pushing this bar, and like that whole connection just like clicked, and I'm like, this is evil. We're like messing with like people's like psyches. Like I hadn't really considered it like that, and then as soon as I did, I'm like, I love it, but I'm like so afraid of it. Like I'm like, I don't want to like abuse people, but like the idea that like there's all of these studies that you can like look at to like think about how people think, and like use the way people think to influence how you make games, was like an eye-opening experience. And from that point in, I was like, I love this. I love this idea. And so,
yeah, I mean, I feel compelled to expose that kind of crap. That's just the way I am. If I see something nefarious, I gotta be like, oh, hey guys, look, this is kind of shady. I'm gonna point those things out. But I'm not done with EQOA. I still plan to play it if it comes out. It's just, I can see the things that are put into a lot of our entertainment, and it's very hard for me not to speak on those things. All right. So if you haven't seen that video and you want to go down a crazy rabbit hole and listen to a Christian ramble on about pre-flood civilizations and the occult in video games, and check it out. My guess is that most of you are rolling your eyes right now and you don't really care about that kind of stuff. But, well, that's what I've been into for a number of years. I don't really talk games over here anymore. Every now and then I do, but yeah, man. Pantheon, Rise of the Fallen. What a name. what a foreshadowing. Huh? I get that it was supposed to be. I think it was about Vanguard and how that failed, right? And they wanted to kind of make this their redemptive arc, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. And I still enjoy Vanguard. I still hop into the private server now and then. I haven't played it for a while because there's not a lot of people playing it, but there was a lot of good things in that game. And I think a lot of us wanted that, but finished and not buggy. And yeah, it stinks, man. It's not easy being an old school MMO fan, but Monsters and Memories, I think that's the one where people need to put their attention now. Okay, because they don't have this crazy scope where, oh, we got climbing and we've got all these different elemental things that you'll have to do. And I was thinking for a while, well, Pantheon, they can kind of riff off of Breath of the Wild, they can kind of go in that direction. That'd be pretty cool, but maybe they can still do that, right? Maybe they can still make something like that pulls in a lot of attention, but no, my hope is more towards Monsters and Memories. Their scope is much smaller, much more realistic. Okay, this is something I can see being out in the next 5 years or so. I'm not going to be in my 50s by the time it comes around. And it just looks like EQOA and EverQuest 1, just, trying to bump it up to the modern age. And for me, personally, I'm not looking for somebody to reinvent the genre. I just want things to be like EQOA was. And that's, I don't know, that might be an impossibility because, and I've touched on this a few times, it was the first MMO I ever played, and for a lot of us, the internet was brand new when we got into MMOs. Chatting was still exciting, folks. Okay? I mean, I remember the first time I got into a chat room, I was up all night long, and I ended up walking home from my friend's house at like 7 in the morning. I felt like I just had a whole night of drinking. I was so out of it, just staring at the screen and chatting with people. So to get that back, to get to the point where that was fun again in the world where we've all just been doing that for 25 years or so, not so much. It's one of those things, man. It's almost like a drug. Right? It's almost like a drug. You get that first fix, and then after that you're chasing that same feeling forever, and you'll never get to it. You'll never get it again. And that should kind of tell you something about MMOs to begin with. When people make that comparison, But yeah, man, that's my take on it. I don't see this going well. And if I offended anybody, hey, it wouldn't be the first time. God bless, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.